Today we're being joined by Margot Whitney from the Sandringham Dragons. Margot, thanks for coming on.
No, cheers for having me.
No worries, any time. Now, I'm going to start this off because there's a bit of a tongue twister for some reason saying your name. So how many people mispronounce your name? And it's a common thing now.
Oh, a decent amount. I'd say probably half my high school teachers did.
At a point, do you just say whatever? Or does it still annoy you to stay?
Nah, it is what it is. Like, just go with it, I guess.
So what nicknames do you get called that you like going by, or is it something nice and basic? Do you get the Margot Robbie references? Do you get anything like that?
No, I get the Margot Robbie reference quite a bit. That was a big one through school. But throughout Sandy and footy and stuff, it's normally like Margs, which is
Okay.
nice and easy.
Very good. Now, Margs, tell us a bit about yourself. What got you into footy and what type of player you are?
Yeah, so I have followed Richmond my entire life, thanks to Dad, born and bred.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I used to be a swimmer for most of my life, and sort of kind of got a bit boring, got a bit fed up with that. So I joined footy in, I think, 2021, just after COVID. I haven't been playing for an awful long time, but it's been good fun.
Well, that's good. So in terms of, it's much more impressive, obviously you made your debut for Sandy Dragons on the week or round one just gone, which we'll get to that shortly. So you said you're getting a bit bored with swimming. So how did you come to the conclusion of playing footy? Did you play locally beforehand, or how did that all happen?
So I guess, growing up watching footy and stuff, Dad played, my grandfather on my dad's side also played. So kind of, had a lot of footy around my life. Played it a bit for school in like year 7 and 8 once I joined high school, and then sort of come year 10, once I quit swimming, I decided, I'll give it a shot, may as well, like understood it enough, thought I'd give it a go.
That's right, sure. So how did the opportunity to be a part of the Sandringham Dragons Coach League side, how did that opportunity, or the squad in the program, how did that opportunity come about?
So I got home from my junior training one night, and Mum was like, "Oh, you got an email from Sandy Dragons." And that time I'd kind of just gotten back from a injury. I fractured the base of my femur, sort of practically all through last year. Didn't really play very much, which was unfortunate. Sort of got an email from Sandy being like, "Oh, we'd love you to come and try out, come to training, have a kick around and see what happens." And here we are, never left, I guess.
That's good. So I'm sure, Margs, it could always be daunting to come into a new club. And were you familiar with some of the players going into it in your first time there, like your first few days there? Did you know anyone going in, or was it just completely new?
Yeah, so I had a couple girls from my junior club. So I played at East Melbourne for the past 4 years. So I knew a couple other girls that were already in the program, and then a couple from different clubs that had joined the program. But I reckon I've made a majority of my friends just from joining the program, which has been really exciting.
That's good. The reason I asked that is because how beneficial then is it, Marks, to go into a club and that level, clearly, right, a step up from local and more pressure, I suppose, because there's more eyes, and everyone's starting to talk about everyone in your team, and you read things, you go, gee, you play footy and you're like, gee, my teammates, or some people, they just keep getting talked about, and that level is just ramping up now. That's kind of an expectation now to be spoken about as a club and sometimes individually.
No, definitely, lots of players talk about other players from our own team and other teams and stuff, but it's really great to sort of have that support around you and have your mates be like, oh, you'll be one of them, like, they lift you up as much as they lift other people up, which is really great.
So it's obviously in round one, you obviously made your debut. So how did you feel, Mars, getting told that debut would happen in the first? I mean, how were you told, and how many days in advance did you know?
So I was told the Tuesday night, I think, finished up our training on Tuesday night. Coach brought us in to our little meeting room and sort of announced the team. I was pretty stoked. We had to set goals sort of the end of last year for this season. My number one goal was to play round one, so ticks that one off the list, which is awesome. Yeah, no, pretty stoked going into it. Got a bit nervous as it came to Saturday, but overall it was pretty good.
That's right. So were you someone, Mark, that would rather know 3 or 4 days in advance, a week in advance, or would you be someone that would rather know last minute from a nerves point of view?
I reckon sort of, knowing 2-3 days before, sort of that Tuesday is a pretty good sort of time frame. If I found out the Friday night, Saturday morning, I'd probably get pretty stressed that I, hadn't prepared properly and stuff, because obviously, you still got back half of the week, the Thursday, Friday, captain's run and stuff. So get those jitters and those nerves out. It's really good.
So obviously you mentioned, Marks, about all those injuries that you had last year and the long-term effect it had. Did it ever get to a point during that time you're like, maybe this isn't for me, in terms of maybe not completely giving up footy, but like maybe at that level? Or was it something you never thought of and you just kept pushing and were trying to get back as quick as possible?
Yeah, so obviously I fractured my femur sort of, I think it was mid-April last year. So it was like round 2, round 3 or something. And it definitely sucked. Like, it definitely sucked. I was co-captain of my club with one of my best mates. So it definitely sucked sort of sitting on the sideline, just watching them every week. They were a pretty strong side, watching them win, watching them lose. Like, it definitely sucked. But again, like, my dad was great. My family was great. My coaches, my friends, like, they were all really supportive about, getting me in the gym, doing other stuff that I could do, sort of helping me keep that, like, faith that I'd come back and I'd be fine. Which was, it was really great. So I guess I never really had a moment where I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, sort of thing. Because I still had that drive to sort of get into Sandy and play with Sandy, which I think kept the motivation up sometimes, which was good.
That's you said push through, and now look where you are. You've made that round 1 team. Now, in terms of the debut itself, also the team had a loss against the Rangers, but how did you feel you went, and how was the overall experience for you?
Look, I won't lie, it was pretty daunting rocking up on Saturday. It kind of, Saturday morning I rocked up and it kind of hit, I was playing for Sandy Dragons. I was, starting ruck against, a very strong side in the Rangers. So, it was pretty daunting, but again, had my friends, had my family around me to support me through that. Come first bounce, won the first hit out, which was awesome, and then, like, I felt I performed my role really well. My hit outs were pretty consistent. Like every game, mistakes happen. There's a couple of things we need to work on for round 2, but onwards and upwards, I guess.
That's right. How was it competing against Eastern Rangers? Because obviously I'm pretty certain they had maybe 8 or 9 girls drafted from that. I know you didn't play last because of the injury, but some of those girls have now been drafted there. There'll be some, I'm sure, again this year that are in this year's crop for them. So how good is it, and how beneficial also is it to play against a strong side like the Rangers first up?
Yeah, no, so definitely opened my eyes to a very strong competition. Very physically fit, very aware of their positioning. Their ball movement is very smooth. So, that was a bit daunting to keep up with, but it was also a great challenge. Like, coming in, knowing that I had to hit the ground running, really compete, really play my role, kept me very accountable for my opponent and the rest of my team. So it was a great, like, learning curve, round 1, and it was awesome.
That's right. So obviously round 2 this week. How do you feel the girls are going to bounce back after it? Well, a tough loss, but I suppose then again, you did have some players playing in that All-Stars under-18s game. So Sophie McKay is one perfect one that comes to mind.
Yeah. So obviously we had Sophie McKay and Kez out as well, which sucked. But super stoked to have both of them back in the side this week. Obviously Western Jets, strong side again. But no, we've talked a lot last night at training about sort of our areas that we probably didn't do as well last weekend. Identified those, worked on those, had some chats around how to better position, better play as a side. So yeah, really stoked to take on the Jets this weekend.
So for sure. I mean, I'm sure it'd be so much better having those 2 girls you mentioned there come back and strengthen that team. And on top of that, Marks, How was it also on top of everything? They're talking about the nerves, the debut and everything, and how the team went, how you went and everything. How cool was it also to play? I know it's on an AFL official ground, but to play on the Saints training ground that an AFL club and AFLW clubs train on, like a bit like GMHBA in a way, because it's not your generic ground that some people will get a chance to play on ever.
Yeah, no, it was a super cool experience. Like, it's awesome rocking up there to RSCA 3 times a week. Like, it's so cool to know that the Southern Saints VFLW girls train there. Saints AFLW, the Saints boys, like they all train there. It's a super professional environment. It's got a really professional feel to it. I feel like it not only enhances my performance, but my drive to be there, my motivation to sort of perform at training and perform in the games and stuff. It's really great.
So now you mentioned about playing the ruck, Mark. So I find it interesting, and I haven't had many ruckmen on, so I want to ask you this about ruck. So in the contest, you know how they talk about the knees are. Do you wear those not knee? I don't know what they call it, if they're knee pads or whatever. Do you wear those? And are you always concerned in the ruck that someone's going to leap the wrong way or jump too early and smash it? Because they talk about knee on knee injuries. Do you ever have that concern in the centre bounce throw-ups?
Yeah. So I wear a little shin guard sort of thing on my right leg, which is sort of the one that goes up, attacks the other person, I guess. Yeah, look, there's always a concern of not jumping at the right time, getting winded, or winding the other person, or getting a boot to the ribs or something like that. But I feel like it's something I train for. I'm 6'2" or something. Like, I'm a rather tall person, so it's something that you just kind of. It's something I love about the game. Like, it's something you just got to get in, you just got to do. And if you don't have the confidence to do it, you're likely to get injured. So just go in there with the confidence, back yourself in, sort of thing, and hope for the best.
True. You did say you started playing in 2021, Mark. So is the ruck always at local as well? Is that always the position you play, considering the height, or did you play mainly more up forward through your whole time, or has it always just been ruck?
Yeah, so I have always played ruck ever since my first game of footy in year 7, playing AFL 9s or something. I've always been running around the midfield, tallest person on the ground. But yeah, no, since I've been at Sandy past a couple of weeks, I've spoken to my coach about sort of playing that secondary position and going as a deep forward, to sort of get some other experience under my belt, because you've got midfielders that will occasionally play up forward, so they've had that other experience in other roles, but because of my height, I've primarily played in the ruck, so I don't have a massive amount of experience elsewhere around the ground. So
yeah, that's fair. I mean, versatility, as you know, would be really key these days, because if you've got one position and you're struggling in that position, you could very likely find yourself out of the side, no matter who you are. Well, I suppose it does probably depend on who you are, but if you're struggling, and maybe it might not be one game, if you have a bad or quiet 3 weeks, you could find yourself out very quickly, just like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's great to sort of train down with the forward sometimes. It's definitely, I feel like it's helped my aerial ability. Taking marks, halving, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I feel like it gives me a whole different skill set, some of which I can bring into the ruck. But yeah, as you said, it also, if I happen to not perform as great for a couple of weeks, it still gives me a chance of getting a couple games, maybe in a position I'm not as confident in, but I can still get a couple games.
That's right. Now, what jumper number is it? Number 19? Am I correct in saying it's 19? If so,
yeah, 19.
Yeah, that's good. So, was there any meaning or significance behind the number? Were you just given it? How did that process go?
No, we were just given it. We got our jumper numbers, couple weeks ago, I think, probably 2 months ago, month or so ago. Yeah, just rocked up, got 19, stoked with it. Our mates with Georgia Foreign, who played Sandy Dragons last year. Yeah, got into the Southern Saints last year as well. She wore 19, so awesome to wear her number.
Go back to back with the 19th. That's nice. Now, through your time, more so locally, because you mentioned you were injured last year while at Sandy. So, have you had any footy accomplishments or premierships through the short time that you've been playing so far?
No premierships so far, which kind of sucks. Gotten close for the past 2 years. So 2022 and 2023 just missed out of the grand final, which sucks. But no, like premiership's on everything, I guess. It's just good to have a kick around with my mates and do what I love.
That's true. Now, you mentioned earlier going after the Tigers. So how do you feel the Tigers have gone in both men's and women's season? Oh, women's season last year, obviously they just fell short of finals, and obviously the men's this year. An interesting start. How do you feel they're going?
Look, I mean, I think since they're kind of, Dimmer leaving last year and then having McQualter and now we're up with Uze, it's a bit of change happening. The young men are looking really fit. They're looking really strong. They're looking they just don't have the confidence, which, obviously will grow in time, hopefully. But no, we've got West Coast this week, I think. So
right,
hopefully that'll go well.
You'd hope so. Now, you mentioned about playing the ruck, Mark. So what would you say some of your biggest strengths as a footballer?
I definitely reckon my pressure, like my tackling pressure. Yeah, as a bigger person, tackling's lots of fun. My ruck craft is definitely something I pride myself on. My ability to control the ball, get it out of stoppages. Yeah, that's something I've worked a lot on over pre-season. Yeah, it's probably the standouts, I guess.
That's good. What would you say are some of your goals you set for yourself this year?
I guess footy goals is, play as many Sandy games as I can. Definitely get better at playing sort of that key forward role. Deep forward, that'd be awesome to get a whole lot better at. So, talking to my teammates, my coach about, developing my skills down there just to have that secondary role, just to sort of have that extra knowledge under my belt. That'd be really awesome.
Now, as a ruckman, you always hear all these comments at any level. People go, rucks, they're slow, they can't do this, they can't do that, they're not as quick as us mids, they don't get good goals like us forwards, they don't do these good sport like us defenders do. Is it hard being a ruckman sometimes when all these other players have these flashy moments and like to show off? Do you want to kind of show them up to go, no, us rucks can do just as good things as you other positions can do?
Yeah, no, I was actually talking to my dad and my coach about this probably about a month ago. Obviously it sucks sometimes looking at stats and, we're not as fast, we don't get as many meters, we don't kick as many goals. We sometimes don't get as many disposals as, your inside mids and all that, your wingers. But I feel like we do play quite an important role. Without us, how you getting the ball at the stoppage, you know what I mean? So I feel like we play quite an important role, but it does suck sometimes, you look at all the highlight reels and stuff and how many rucks do you see in those? It sucks a little bit, but we do have a very important role to play.
For sure. And how much credit, Marks, would you take for the success of some of your midfielders in particular this year, and for ones in future that end up getting picked up? Because, you'd want to take some credit. They may not be getting all those disposals and clearances if it's not for in your case, you being the ruck work.
Yeah, no, I reckon it's always a team effort. There's never one person that can take all the credit for, a goal or a win or a premiership, whatever. But yeah, no, obviously take a little bit of credit for, tapping in the right direction, I guess. Finding that free player. But also a lot of credit to my midfielders. They yell at me every single game, a million times a game about where to tap it, who's the free, hands on, hands off, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, definitely credit to everyone in that sense, but I would take a little bit of credit for getting the ball to them, I guess.
That's very true. Now, if you were to use an AFL or AFLW player comparison to set up a style of ruckman that you play, who would you say that would be?
Oh, probably I play similar to Poppy Kelly from Richmond.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, in terms of ruck work, I'm probably similar to her a little bit when she plays in the ruck. But just in general, I reckon I'm pretty similar to Caitlin Greiser from Richmond.
Richmond, yep.
Yeah. All Richmond girls. I reckon I'm probably pretty similar to Caitlin Greiser around the field.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. Well, you talk about a tall player and someone that can tackle. I mean, the G train, as they call her, Caitlin, there's definitely something that she does have, and it obviously works well for her. Now, who is some of your favourite teammates, Marks, at the club?
Oh, that's a tough one. I love all of them. Look, I'd say, since the first day that I walked into Sandy, I'd say Hannah Foran, younger sister of Georgia Foran, is probably one of my best mates around the club. Always been there, supportive at training. Who else? Probably Jacinta Boyd, also from Sydney. She's been awesome. Great support. Gabrielle Treasure, probably.
Yep.
I could list them all. I could list the entire squad. They're all great. They're all supportive. Regardless of how close we are, they always pick each other up at training and whatnot. It's really great.
That's fair. Who would be the teammate you're most excited about to see how they go this year? And kind of who are you keen to see how they go?
Oh, you'd be silly not to say Sophie McKay.
Yes.
I'd say I'm pretty stoked to see Daisy Flockhart. She's drive out of contest is insane. Like, her ability to evade a tackle is unlike something I've been able to ever do myself. It's crazy.
Definitely two names for certain to watch out at the end of the year for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
You can mention some people here. You can mention someone else. Who would you say at Sandy Dragons in particular are some teammates that kind of fly under the radar a little bit and don't get talked about as much as you feel they should, at least from a public point of view?
I would say Judy Goldman. She plays midfield with me. She's awesome. Her comms, her pressure, her ability to position herself and also direct others is unmatched. So that you could also say the exact same about Jess Thomas and Scouty Howden. They're both our wingers. Their ability to know exactly where the ball is going to fall, position themselves perfectly, create leads, create space, draw defenders away from the ball is something that certainly helps me a lot, as well as the rest of our midfield. So I'm excited to see them as well this year.
Sure, there's definitely some names, and it's good to list some off there for people to keep an eye on for the rest of this season up until the draft at the end of December. Now, any outside of footy interests that you have?
Still gotta say, still love the swimming.
Yeah,
that's still awesome. Big sports fan, so watching footy, I guess, but watching NRL is a big one. Up the Penrith Panthers. I'll have to say, I'll probably get a bit of hate for that, but I'll cop it.
Yeah.
Netflix, love a good Netflix, always up there.
Yeah.
Don't really do a lot outside of footy and uni, so.
That's fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Actually, I'm going to get back to uni in a second. So, on the segue of you mentioning Netflix, Mark, so what are some of your favourite TV shows or movies that you watch, or documentaries or whatever?
I would say Fast and the Furious, some of the best movies ever. Yeah. Indiana Jones, good movies as well. TV series, I think I'm halfway through the third time watching Prison Break.
Oh, yeah.
Always a good one.
Yeah.
Love The Walking Dead. That's another top one I've seen probably more than once.
Yeah.
Any Quentin Tarantino movie. Any John Hughes movie. He's another great director.
Yeah.
Any of those.
I'm glad you finally mentioned. Now, I'm not a big movie person at all. Like, I hear about a lot, but in terms of watching, I don't really do. But TV shows, I definitely do. It's finally nice to hear someone mention movies that I've actually heard the names of. Because some people say, okay, oh yeah. I don't know what they are, but okay, yep, okay. But at least once Indiana Jones and West and all that you said, at least I've known all them and Walking Dead and all that. Now, you said you're halfway through Prison Break, was it? Halfway through that?
Yeah.
So, well, that was going to be actually one of my questions. So I was going to say, would you obviously are one that would rewatch over and over again. On top of that, Mark, would you be one to remember scene by scene? Because I'm like that with someone like, I think sometimes I'm too smart for my own good, or whatever the saying is. But when I'm watching back, like I actually want to try and not know, but I'm too smart to remember it scene by scene. How are you with that?
Yeah, look. I don't know if I hate to admit it. I kind of love to admit it. I could probably tell you scene by scene the entire movie of Cars.
Oh yeah.
If I really wanted to, I could scene by scene tell you exactly what's going on. I've seen it that many times.
Yeah, I'm on that. Not with Cars, but with other stuff. Yeah, it's just like sometimes like I don't want to remember, but I can't not remember.
It just sticks in my brain. I don't know how it happens.
And there might not on a particular show, but like just on any amount of things that I can remember scene by scene, I'm like, there might be a rare little moment where I might forget like this particular minute. I go, hang on, isn't it that? Did he get hit in the head? Oh no, that's next. Like I have that little thing sometimes, but no, 99% of the time, I'm like, all right, he's about to get hit in the head in 3, 2, 1, boom. It's just like that, just like that. All right, so what do you feel, Mark, is the best individual game you've ever played at any level?
Oh, it would have to be. I think it was round 1 or 2 last year. So I was playing my first year of under 18s at East Malvern. Probably one of the best games I've ever played was against East Bentley Demons, I think.
Okay. Yep.
I was very switched on that game, which was awesome. That was pretty awesome. Kicked a couple goals, I think, which is very unlike me.
Oh no.
It was awesome. Great midfield connection there, which is really great.
That's good. Now, you speak about goals. We're going to get to goals just very shortly. There'll be a few goal questions coming. Okay, so actually, no, that is next. Okay, what is the best goal you've ever kicked, Mark, at any level? Is there any particular goal that comes to mind?
I reckon this would also be my dad's favourite goal of mine. So I played a little bit for De La Salle in the VAFA last year, just before I broke my leg. Yeah, played a couple of games for them. It was their second practice match. I was playing ruck, absolutely dominating. It was awesome. Their backman, their fullback, kicked it out. Beautiful kick out, straight down the corridor, gone up, wrecked about 50 out, backed into someone else, got the ball. It's awesome. Best mark of my life. And then I kicked it about 50 metres. It was right in front of goal, but it was 50 metres, so I'll take it.
Absolutely. I mean, especially if that's not your average distance, that is absolutely phenomenal. There's no better word to describe it than phenomenal.
I was more impressed with the mark than the goal, to be honest. I'm not the best up in the air, but...
Now, did you happen to get someone capture that on film?
No, I didn't. Dad watched it, didn't quite believe it happened, though, so you can ask him about it.
That's fair. I mean, I don't want to boast about myself, but this is actually true. But only 4 people saw it. So I was at Winton Oval, one of the VFLW games a couple of weeks ago. No, last weekend, and I was just having it was the week before. Anyway, I was having a kick there with someone, or not with someone, but I was just there waiting for someone to do something, and then there's these guys kicking on the field, these old blokes. So I have a kick with me. I'm like, all right, okay. I had some time to kill, so I started kicking with him, just having generic kicks, and then he's like, Torba from the bench. I'm like, good luck, mate. I'm not going to get that. So my average distance, just for clarity, would be around 25, 30, okay? That's on a good level, right? Maybe 35 if I'm lucky ever. And then, so I was about 30, 35, and I just taken the piss a little bit about it. So I held it properly and just tried it. Didn't bounce. It didn't dribble. It didn't float. It done the talk thing and went straight through on the full, no dribble, no bounce, no walk through, nothing. I was impressed.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I know.
In my dreams, I could do that.
I know. Yeah, I know. I film everything. As you may have seen, Dolphin challenges I've done with people. I have that all on film, but not that. I was so gutted. I got it, but still gutted because I know it wasn't filmed.
Oh,
But
that's good as though.
absolutely. So we're a bit even in that department where we got something miraculous, not filmed, but you had more people see it. But regardless, anyway. Now go-to goal celebrations, Mark. Do you have a go-to goal celebration, and did you pull one out then?
I actually haven't kicked enough goals to have a goal celebration. It sort of happens, and I get a bit shocked, don't believe it happened, and then move on.
I was doing a goal challenge, Mark, with someone recently, and they were a bit like you. They said they don't really have one, and they pulled out an epic one, and it kind of fits the narrative of them not kicking many goals. They kicked more than your average goal, and their reaction was they were just priceless. They went like that, and they said, "What the?"
Yeah, that'll probably be mine. One of those ones.
Yeah, it's just great. Great to see. I love seeing all these different ones. What's one of the best ones then you've seen someone do?
Oh, I don't know. I reckon Sammy Walsh from Carlton's had a couple good ones.
Yes, yeah, I can't remember from him.
He's had a couple good ones.
Yeah. What do you think of the shush? That one.
Yeah, I don't reckon I'd kick enough goals to do that.
That's fair enough.
If you're gonna kick enough goals, go for it. I mean, go for it. Well done you, but don't think I'll get my hands on the ball enough.
That's fair enough. So again, on the trend of goals, Mark or goal of the year? Mark, which one would you rather do and why?
Mark, absolutely.
It's good.
I reckon Mark the year. I'd be more impressed Mark than goal.
Yeah, that's fair. Would you be one to post it if you were to pull off a Mark of the Year contender? Because let's face it, unless your name's Jeremy Howe, no one does Mark or goal of the years for fun.
That's true. I would absolutely. I'd post it. It'd be absolutely everywhere. I'd send it to grandma and get grandma to post it everywhere.
Yes, yeah, and you send it to them, and they say how proud of you they are,
Exactly.
and then
it's awesome.
Then you'll get some friends going tin ass, fluke, and you're like, that's not what Grandma said. Don't be rude.
Don't be grandma. Grandma's always right.
Yes, they are. Well, 99%. I won't say 100. 99% of the time. Yeah, I mean, look, I love the honesty there about saying that you post it. I mean, I feel a lot of people that tell me they don't post it, I don't think that's the truth. I think they would post it. They just don't want to say it out loud.
Yeah, they don't want to seem like that person. I would 100% post it. Absolutely.
No, again, like I said, some of the golden comments, when I've kicked something good, it's up within me leaving, basically.
Yeah.
Or the next worst. So, absolutely, why not? All right. Back to the Sandy Dragon girls. Who loves the limelight, the attention, the camera at the Sandringham? Oh my God! I'll repeat that again. Who loves the limelight, the attention, the camera at the Sandy Dragons, and can't get enough of it? And they know exactly what to do when the camera's around. And I know for a fact there was a fair few last year. Me having a few of them on, but who's some of them at the moment?
I reckon Sophie McKay.
Mm.
If there is a camera, she knows exactly what to do. She's the most entertaining person on and off the field, on and off a camera. Like, she, hands down, the most entertaining person to watch.
And loves it?
Oh, loves it. Can't get enough of it.
Would Soph be one of those people to know when will ask the media people or someone that does the recordings or whatever at training, go, can you put it on me?
Oh, I don't know. She might.
You might.
I don't know. You have to ask her that.
That's fair enough. All right. So, who do you feel is the best player in the AFL, AFLW competition?
Ooh. Mon Conti from Richmond.
Yep.
I aspire to be her in every way possible. She's a weapon, an absolute weapon.
She is.
Her ball movement, her knowledge of the game, like her footy IQ, her dedication to both footy and basketball is just crazy.
Yeah. You talk about
she loves her footy and she's bloody good at it.
And you can throw in her basketball as well.
Yeah,
on top of it. You talk about, if you were to think of someone to put on a poster to be like the face of the sport, it is her, Mon Conti, easily.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She's such a well-rounded athlete, a well-rounded person as well, from what I know of her. Like, 100%.
That's right, absolutely. And now this would be one answer where no one can say you're being biased because she's the best player in the comp.
Exactly.
Bloody-
Like statistically, the best, hands down. She's awesome.
That's right. I mean, you could throw in now. I mean, it's up for argument and debate for anyone, but you could also throw in Jazz Garner, Laura Garner, Ash Riddell. There's so many names. Yes, mine is probably the favourite, but you could mount. I think you could mount an argument for the others. So some of those names that I just mentioned.
You could throw in Bella Dawes from Lions from Brisbane.
Yep.
Dawes is pretty bloody good in the grand final.
Yeah, she was. She was with that whole final series, and I saw her after the game. Just a wonderful character and a type of person that you would want at your football club. And that's not just me. You just see all the posts they make. She's always involved. You talk about camera. She bloody well does love it too.
She is. Exactly. She loves it.
Again, but also, like you mentioned, so good at it. Good at football. Exactly. So it works both ways, I guess. All right. So what's something someone does at the Dragons that you can't stand, whether that's leaving rubbish around, just being flat out annoying, trying to play jokes on someone, trying to scare people, anything like that?
Oh. Nothing I can think of. Maybe I just tolerate everything, but nothing I can think of.
Yeah. Have you never felt victim to being jump scared? Or just, if it's not just a Sandy, just in general, is there anything in general that would annoy you?
I hate when people jump scare me.
So
I am known to have pretty wicked reflexes and smack them across the face.
On purpose or intentional?
Or accidentally. I get so scared it's whacked across the face.
Yeah, well, I mean, as you said, unintentional, but that's kind of a good thing. That's, well, not good that someone's getting in the face, but you know what I mean. It's like, well, it's kind of saying, okay, don't even bother to attempt because you're probably going to accidentally get cracked in the face.
Exactly. So that is one way to keep them away.
You're going to have to have great skills to duck and weave and run away and do the Spider-Man things, I guess.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you might not end up too well there. All right. So what are some fun facts about you, Marcus, that people may not know about you?
Ooh. I'm addicted to Formula One.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Did you go to it recently?
I did. It was on my birthday, so that was a little bit of a birthday celebration, which was awesome.
Happy birthday then, for them. Better late.
Yeah. I love reading. I don't do it a lot, but when I do, I love it. What are some other things? I used to live in Sydney and probably never would have played footy if I lived in Sydney. So, maybe a good thing I made the move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's probably kind of all I can think of.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Now, defenders. We talked about before how the rucks don't really get respected from a public point of view, but look, overall, I feel like from awards, mainly, Marks, more from an awards point of view, I don't feel like defenders get any recognition at all. Like AFL level, forwards are at the Coleman, obviously. The mids have got the Brownlow. I don't care what anyone says. The Brownlow is a midfielders award.
Absolutely.
And rucks, it's not a ruck award, but they're getting recognised a bit more. Like you see Max Gawn and Brodie Grundy and Rowan Marshall and Tim English, etc. Ali Morford, Matilda Schultz get recognised in Brownlow votes in both men's and women's comps. Do you feel defenders, though, deserve their own official title of an award at that level, as well as the other positions have?
I reckon, because in my experience, I reckon, the backlines that I've worked with, they have, helped us win games, essentially. Like it's not always down to the forwards to win a game. Someone's got to stop the ball from going to the other team's goals somehow. So I reckon they deserve a lot more praise than they get sometimes.
Yep, absolutely. They certainly do. If your teammates were to describe you, Mark, in one word or a sentence, how would they describe you?
Oh, Pretty clumsy, but pretty ruthless, I
Okay.
reckon.
A bit
Something
of
like that.
dare I say it, a bit of, I don't know if you ever heard of this saying, you may not have. Dare I say ruthless aggression? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
No, you heard it. Good,
Little
John
bit.
Cena. Yeah, a little bit. Good to go, John Cena. You once you said ruthless, that's the first thing that came to my mind was that saying he said all
Yeah.
those years, 20 odd years ago, however long it was. All right, now, what are some of your most prized possessions that you own?
I would probably say my first ever medal I won when I was swimming back in 2015.
Oh, yeah.
I won first place at this like competition out in like Essendon or something.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that. That was probably pretty cool. I thought I was awesome. I was 10 years old and I thought I was the best swimmer in the world because I came first.
That's right.
Yeah, probably that. I've got best what was it? Most improved award, best and fairest. I got joint first best and fairest in my first year of footy, which is pretty cool. I reckon that probably started my love and really made me go, I kind of want to see where this goes, sort of thing.
Good. That's awesome, actually. How was it being? It was a joint. You just said, didn't it? It was a joint winner.
Yeah.
So was there a vote count, and was it like a vote count when they did round by round? Did they just announce the winner? How did that go? I asked because if they did do round by round, were you with the joint winner, like studying each other's games, going, "Oh, I kicked 3 this game. Oh, you had a shit game that week." Oh, how was it?
Yeah, so it was round by round. It was my first ever season of footy. So I never even thought that I would win that award. So I was pretty stoked when I found that out. But yeah, so it was round by rounds. They didn't announce any points or anything until like the best and fairest sort of night.
Okay.
So I had no idea until I got the award, and I didn't actually believe it. I thought they were joking for a second because, I'd played 12, 13 games of footy. I don't think we made finals that year, so really didn't get it.
It's good because the reason I ask this is because I'm very intrigued to see how each club at any level, locally, coach league, AFL, AFLW, I love just seeing how, because each club is different, right?
Yeah.
Because it's been a big pet peeve of mine. I don't like clubs that do it just from a personal point of view that kind of like just rush it, or they don't say it at all. Like they don't even do round by round. They just do the winners. So I'm like, I love that theatre and drama, like the Brownlow. I love that drama. I know a lot of people don't like how the break out, but I love how it's run. I love that drama. And oh my god, who's going to win this? I just love how that was. And actually, I don't mind that idea that you mentioned that you didn't know at all until they literally read your name at the end, but they were doing round by round. Okay, then. So when they didn't have leaderboards, were you adding up your own score in your head?
Yeah. See, I don't think I scored any points for the first 2 rounds.
Okay.
Just because I was playing junior footy at that time, so it was kind of who has the ball in their hands the most sort of gets the points. I was under 16s. We were like Div 2 or something. So it was whoever had the ball in their hands the most sort of got the points. But yeah, I think it got to round 3 or 4, and I started like hearing my name a bit more, and I was like, oh, this is a bit weird. That's kind of odd. And then I got to the end, and Dad sort of gone, I think you might have it. I think you might actually have it. So that was sort of, didn't really believe him for a second there.
Nice, that's awesome, and well done on that. So, all right, now this is part of the interview, Mark, where teammates' hearts get broken and teammates may love you more and more for this. Right, who is the best chatterbox at the club?
Oh, Alex. 100%.
Nice. There was no one else to consider. That was as clear cut as you could get.
I don't think she shuts up from the minute I see her at training to the minute I leave her. She is just constantly talking about absolutely everything.
Look, honestly, sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes I suppose each one's different, but sometimes I feel it's a good thing. Like sometimes I say it's not always a bad thing, because I rather people talk than be quiet and be a mute. But
absolutely, and it's all relevant enough. Like, she's quiet when she has to be, but certainly keeps us entertained. Definitely entertained.
All a bit of banter here for some of these questions. So who is the loudest and quietest teammates?
The loudest is probably me. It's
Okay.
either me or Alex. I can't lie. The quietest. I think Hannah's pretty quiet sometimes. Yeah.
That's fair enough. All right. So you were stuck on a deserted island amongst your teammates. Who are you bringing, and who are you not bringing?
Oh, I'd probably bring Hannah. And I'd bring Sienna Sharp, actually. She's a swim teacher, so if we ever got stuck, she'd be right. I probably wouldn't bring Alex. She'd probably talk my head off.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
All good. All right. So now this is the part of the interview where the hot topic food questions go out, Marks. And I don't understand what people here in Australia always get so worked up over these hot topic food questions. Now, for context, I've only ever had over 100 people. Sounds like a family feud. We've surveyed over 100 people, and the top answers are on the board. So I've had 9 people answer all 6 of these food questions the way I would, and only 5 people have ever got this first question illogically, factually wrong. So let's hope. I know. Please don't be a 6. All right. And I think for some reason I think you will be. For some I don't know why, but I'm just thinking that. Chicken palmy. Is it a palmy or is it something else?
It's a Parma.
I knew it. I knew it. Okay. All right. Now, just for context, the last person that said this, I convinced them live in the moment to change their mind. So I want to try it myself. Okay. Why do you feel it's that?
It just sounds better. It's easier to say. Parma, not palmy. Parma. Easier to say.
If it sounds better, but does that mean that doesn't necessarily mean that's what it is? It may be opinionated to be sound better, not is.
It just is. It just
All
is.
Right.
It's Parma. You can't. It is Parma. You can't change your mind. It's Parma.
One more throw at the stumps. I'll try not to throw stumps down. All right. So if you spell it out for me, it's Parmi. And pronounced Parmigiana. So, you know.
Look. Still Parma. Still Parma.
That's fair enough. I couldn't break you there, but that's okay. And so I'm reviewing the decision. Anyway, none for one. It's okay. Now, the lowest score anyone's ever gotten, by the way, for context, is 3. Or a bunch of people got 3. No one's ever got 2 or lower. So,
yeah, I might be the first.
I hope not. But that was the hardest one of the lot. Well, it should be the hardest one. All right. Pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, dear. Oh, no. We're not on the right start. Okay. That's okay. So they're opinionated. First one, I won't cop the first one, but the other ones, whatever. Tomato sauce, covered or fridge?
Cupboard.
There we go. We're on the board. Good. 1 for 3. 1 out of 3. We got one. We got one at least. You wouldn't want to begin, did we? All right. Favorite food?
Sushi.
Oh, no. All right, 1 for 4. Now you have to get both right to not be the first to get lower than 3. Oh, dear. All right. Food you don't like.
Oh. I don't like cheese.
Oh, no. That's worse than the palmy one. Is that because you can't have it or you just don't like it?
I just don't like it. I just like people that have cheese on crackers. I don't get it. Like I'll have like cheese on pizza, but like cheese on crackers is not it.
Okay, I don't know how to grade that now because you said what you said. Then does it
another one? I have another food I don't like.
Let's save yourself. Save yourself or try to. What's the next one?
I don't like mayo, like mayonnaise.
Which version? There's a couple. Or let's no
Just like the normal mayonnaise.
mayo.
Yeah, like just normal mayonnaise.
All right, I'll cop. I don't like that one. The reason I was saying that because I like spicy mayo. I don't like garlic
Yeah, okay.
mayo.
See, spicy mayo is fine, but like normal mayo is just weird.
Yeah, we're working up. Two for something
there.
that you've been revived. But now it's another one, and you need to get this one too. All right, this one you should be fine. This is probably the easiest one. Favorite takeaway place.
Guzman and Gomez.
You know what? I've heard that. I've heard GYGs. I've heard sombreros. They're more a Perth thing, but
yeah,
I didn't. I heard the name. I didn't know what they were related. Like if they were a food company, if they were whatever, a clothes company. I don't know, but I'd heard of them. So, what is your go-to order there? This will determine if this is correct. What's your go-to order?
I would have to say, like spicy chicken burrito bowl.
She's very smart. She heard me say spicy before, and even if that's not the answer, she just said spicy there. Yeah, that's good. All right, I'll give you that. You were probably the closest though to being the lowest.
I was scared for a second. I was scared.
I was scared for you because I didn't want to put anyone that low. But you're equal last with about probably 10, 20, 30, 50 people. I don't know how many. I've lost count. That one's.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
You're on the long list of people with 3, but that's okay. All right, well done. In the end, we started bad, very bad, and then we picked it up really well. All right, so I've got to compose myself from that. All right, so what are some quirks, Marks, that some people would say that you have that you wouldn't necessarily like to admit?
Oh, I'm not too sure.
Is there? So okay, so I was gonna now again. I'm going to stress this enough to people. This is not something I would be do or be said to do. Just things I'm just trying to randomly think. Something like twirling your hair, biting nails. Have to leave ground.
I wear the same 3 rings every day, and I twist them around my fingers a lot to the point where sometimes I twist them and they flick off and fly across the room.
I know you say it.
It's true. I do the same with my earrings. I twist my earrings. I play with my earrings too much. People get really annoyed. I used to bite my nails, but I don't anymore. So that's probably one of my greatest achievements is stopping biting my nails.
Forget about the joint BNF. What the hell is that to you?
Not biting my nails. Hands down, greatest achievement to date.
Absolutely. All right. So, all right. How would you fancy yourself, Marks, in front of the goals? And would you rather? Is there a certain type of well, I mean that 50-meter goal is amazing, but is there any particular spots you'd be more confident in? Would you rather be on the run? Would you rather be on the boundary? Set shot? What would you rather?
Set shot, straight in front, about 30 meters out. It's going in.
30 meters.
Like 5 meters to the right, probably won't go
in. It's fair.
I'm pretty consistent in front of goals.
That's fair. No, I haven't told you this yet. What's funny, every time I do a goal king challenge, I tell everyone I do it with, even sometimes on here with people, I'm for some reason way better on the. I think I know why, but I'm way better on the pockets than where I am on any little angle or in front. I don't know why, and it's
I cannot kick from the pockets. Can't do it.
If you ever got a goal from the pocket, even mucking around properly,
no, I don't do it.
Oh, what?
I can't. I don't know. Then again, I hardly ever train in front of goals, so that could change.
Yeah, I mean, taking the piss. Oh, not taking the piss. Having a kick with someone out could technically count as well. But yeah, if you want any teaching lessons, just go watch some of the videos that I posted about that. They were all pocket goals pretty much that I posted. See, I don't post the good ones. I don't post the crap ones or the basic ones.
Highlight reel. Absolute highlight reel.
Well, that's what the Insta Reels are for. Dare I say, Insta Reels are the highlight reel. Exactly. Maybe that's what they call reel. I don't know. But yeah, that's my highlights reel. The full video is on YouTube, but yeah, the highlights reel is on the Insta Reels, especially the recent ones in the last 6 months or so. Now, all right. So, celebrity crush.
Oscar Piastri, the McLaren F1 driver.
I'm not surprised you said an F1 driver because you said before you love F1. How was it too, Rob, when you went there on your birthday?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Yeah, McLaren finished just, I think, third and fourth.
Okay. I don't know an awful lot about. I know what it is and how it operates and stuff. I'm not in terms of people, and car brands, and all that stuff. All right. So you mentioned before about uni, and I was actually going to get back to that. I almost forgot. So, what do you do at uni, like in terms of the type of course, and how has that been going, and what do you want to get into?
Yeah, so I do a Bachelor of Sport Science and a Bachelor of Business, so sport management.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's been awesome. We've been at uni for, I think, like just over a month now. Yeah, it's been really good. The topic's really interesting. It's really great. I'm hoping to get into some sort of like sport sciencey coaching sort of role. Potentially in AFL or NRL club would be awesome.
Absolutely. That's good. Hopefully it goes well for you. So, if you were to pick a certain song to play at a club or whatever, if someone said to you, all right, pick the song for the speaker or whatever, what is your favorite song to choose?
Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi.
See, again, like the TV shows, you're mentioning things I actually know. Good.
It's such a good song, though. I was playing it last night. Awesome.
Did you get to pick that, or did it just happen to be on? Or
yeah, no, I was in the car and I picked it on. It was awesome.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Well, that's a bit easier to choose then instead of front of 30 people at training or however many there is. All right, so game day superstitions, Margs. Do you have any game day superstitions that you must do?
I actually don't.
Okay.
I actually don't. I sort of just rock up and see what happens.
It's fair. I feel like, though, when I ask this question, some people have a few. I had someone recently last month say like 10 to 14 things. I'm not even kidding there. And named like 10 to 14 things. Pretty basic.
I'd get confused. I'd forget what my superstitions were if I had that many.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they're all basic things. Like they're basically a compilation of what everything people would say. But yeah, and I was saying to a few people recently, how would you feel, Mark? Well, you haven't really got any, so it doesn't really matter. But if you were to have some, and it was one day, let's say one of them is, I don't know, have a coffee game, and the place you always go to is closed or the machine's not working. That stuff's your routine up, doesn't it? How would you compromise?
Yeah. I don't know. I probably wouldn't.
Yeah,
I would do.
Yeah, they'll probably be shitty the whole day.
Probably.
They might play bad, and they might be dumb people behind play because they didn't get their drink. Now, if you were the AFLW or AFL CEO for a day, Margs, what rule would you add and or remove?
Ooh. I'm not actually sure. I'd probably remove 50-meter penalties. What's the point?
To something shorter or
just like nothing.
Ooh. So do you feel like then the penalties they give are sometimes are too severe? I
just feel like sometimes they give 50 meters when they shouldn't always give them. If that makes sense.
It's true.
Like, I feel like some umpires just throw them around.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I get you for sure. Did you see all the debacle with the Fremantle Carlton game at the end?
Yeah, that's what actually got me thinking about it. I was thinking about it the other day.
Yeah. There's not much I can say that I haven't ranted about since Saturday night. But I thank God I go for Fremantle. I've already lost it not barracking for Fremantle. So just imagine your team in that spot. I don't know. Embarrassing. We talked about one word earlier. One word. It's a teammate to describe you. How to describe that decision? Embarrassing. That's what decisions, because there were two of them. The touch one that apparently the umpire never heard. So again, they assume. So That's what I don't like. You talk about rules you can change. And I know they'll never do it. Like, you admit you're wrong in that thing. So you should be replaying that minute or reversing the decision. I know that'd be harsh on Carlton because they technically still could have won, because of the blah, blah, blah. But I just don't like how that ends because, look what happened to Sydney last year with Adelaide in that Adelaide finals because of the view. It's happening too much now. It's embarrassing, really.
Exactly.
Okay. Right, now I've got a few more for you, Mark, so I do really appreciate you coming on. So if you could map out, actually no, I'll do the last. So I'm going to do a few word associations. So I'm going to say a few words or names, and I want to see what you say. Just literally one word. All right, Conti.
Weapon.
Sandringham Dragons.
Fun.
Sophie McKay.
Energetic.
Your coach.
Loving.
Opposition ruckman.
Ruthless.
And goals after the siren.
Exciting.
Absolutely. That is an exciting answer. They are absolutely good. Now, you talked about before about the goals and everything like that you set for yourself this year. So it kind of relates to this last question. So I do appreciate you coming on, Mugs. If you can map out a dream scenario for yourself this year from right now all the way to the end of the year, and in top of that question, actually, is AFLW something you do want to reach as well?
Yeah, no. So that would definitely be the end goal of this year. I'd be super stoked to land at any club. Obviously been a dream for a little while, worked really hard to get into Sandy, so that'd be awesome. But I guess from here to the end of the year, sort of work through the coach season, hopefully play for Sandy every week. Have a couple standout games, obviously improve my ruck work, improve my work down forward. Hopefully get invited to the combine, do some testing. Hopefully get drafted would be awesome. But just have fun, enjoy it. Go through the motions, support my teammates, have fun with them. Because that's probably the best bit.
Absolutely, that is so damn true. Mark, it's been a really good having you on. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully all those dreams you mentioned get realised. And another really important thing I want to add. Hopefully we see some more goals from yourself. And whenever I hear that you kicked a goal from the boundary, I want to hear how it went because that would be
let's hope that happens.
Absolutely. Let's hope so. Mark, thanks again.
Thanks. Cheers.